What's going on, TW fans? Thomas here, bringing you another week's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. It is March 16th. That means a couple of things. One, tomorrow is St. Patty's Day. I know a ton of you guys got green beer on the mind, you got trips to the bar, all kinds of festivities and mayhem. That is awesome. Us here at TW, though, we got one thing on the mind. Bass fishing. Spring is here, the bite is picking up, we're stoked to be out on the water, it's a great time to do it. Fortunately for us, our manufacturers have the same thing on the brain. So they give us a ton of new products to check out for you today. So we're gonna jump right in with a new, let's go with a reel. Got a reel from 13 Fishing. This is the new 13 Fishing Origin Blackout casting reel. Pretty hot little reel. You know, we got the nice matte black side plates on here, this cool metal hits. It's just a nice looking reel. Outside, we got the external brake adjustment on there so you can really dial in this thing for maximum casting performance. On the other side, we have really comfortable EVA soft touch foam knobs. So all weather performance there. Whether it's wintertime, you're frigid water fishing, springtime, maybe you got some sudden squalls, some rain, summertime, sweaty palms, whatever the case may be, you're gonna get sure gripping performance out of these nice knobs. On the front here, we have their Arrowhead line guide system. That's just gonna really help that line flow off of the reel. So if you're covering a lot of water, you need those long bombing casts, that Arrowhead line guide is gonna get you those really long casts. So real nice. Smooth operation is ensured with the 5 premium bearings in this thing. And then it also has a multi-material drag system that's dishing out a whopping 18 pounds of drag. So if you have a big grumpy bass, buried in cover, you're able to drag that thing out of here, maybe turn a real big female's head. You're gonna get these things back to the boat. So nice reel, and one of the best parts, 65 bucks. So if you're in the market for a new setup, you don't wanna break the budget, that's the one you're gonna wanna check out. New from 13 Fishing. All right, let's look at some stuff that's gonna catch us some fish. We're gonna jump in with a new one that we've been waiting for since iCast. This one is from Berkley. This is the Berkley Powerbait Agent E Swimbait. Some of you guys have seen these types of swim baits on the market. This one's awesome. It's got a lot of detail in it, cost effective and readily available. So I really, really like this thing. I'm excited for it. Designed in conjunction with Bassmaster Classic champion and MLF Tour Pro champion, Edwin Evers. That guy knows a thing or two about baits, so they put a lot of thought into this thing. And it's great. You got a lot of detail from nose to tail. This tail gives off a tremendous amount of action. I mean, every time you're gonna lift, drag, hop, swim this thing, you're gonna get a ton of action out of it. And then of course it is infused with that signature power bait scent. So this thing is gonna give off a cloud of fish attracting scent, really gonna expand your strike zone. So any time of the year, but especially wintertime, that's really important just to give another thing to bring those fish in. Up on the top of the bait here, we have a fluorocarbon weed guard. So you can get a layer of invisible, vegetation shedding protection here. Collapses really easily on the hook set, so you're gonna button up all those fish. And then it also has that nice low center of gravity. So yeah, it's a swim bait. You can swim it in any depth of the water, any portion of that water column. But these things tend to be really, really effective on the bottom. So whether you're dragging it along the bottom, hopping it, swimming it along the bottom, that low center of gravity is going to give it kind of that foraging posture, looking like a bait fish nosing along the bottom. It's just something that bass cannot resist. To take this thing a step further, they actually included an internal rattle chamber. So every time you make contact with hard cover, bounce it into rocks, stumps, wood, whatever the case may be, you're gonna get a little bit of that auditory layer to it as well. Just another thing to help these bass locate your bait and annihilate. So one we're excited to finally get in. Definitely check that one out, the Agent E. All right. Got another swim bait. We're gonna start with a couple of little swim baits here. This time from Molex. We have the Molex RT Fork Flex Jerk Minnow. So it's a really, really cool, nice jerk bait style, soft jerk bait style minnow. I like this thing a lot. Molex put a lot of thought into it, in the design. We have a nice accurate, anatomically accurate profile. So whether you're fishing your home lake that you're intimately familiar with, or you're going to some new lake or new water system that you've never been to before, that universal bait fish profile just gets bites. And that's what this thing is designed to do, just get you a ton of bites. So included, in addition to that nice profile, you have the 3D scaling, you have 3D eyes, you have those raised gill rakers on this thing, we got some fins on it. So there's a nice accurate profile. But they took it a step farther. So it's made with Molex's unique formula here, so it's really, really stretchy, super durable. You're gonna be able to stand up to a bunch of big bites. You're just gonna be able to stand up to a lot of bites, which is nice. But it's also buoyant. So it's gonna give you a nice horizontal presentation. So whether you're drop shotting this thing, power shotting this thing, you have it on the back of your favorite bladed jig, maybe even a scrounger head. This thing is just really versatile and it has that nice horizontal posture as you're swimming it through the water. Not done there, we have a little belly channel on the bottom, just to give you a little bit more positive hook sets. But then also kind of a cool feature, they included this little slot in the middle, just in front of the tail here. So that slot is gonna accommodate, maybe a little nail weight or a rattle. But I think easily the best thing about this thing is the action. I don't really need to talk about it. I mean, cue the B-roll. This action is awesome. Every time this thing comes into contact with cover, every time you twitch your rod tip, whatever the case may be, that tail quivers and dances and just gives off a ton of action. Like I said, just designed to get you a bunch of bites. So if you're looking for a new soft jerkbait, that's the one you want to check out from Molix. All right, we're going to transition into Savage Gear. We have a few new things from Savage Gear. We're going to start with the Swimbait, kind of stick with that little theme here. So nice, another little versatile swimmer. I mean, Swiss Army knife of swim baits. This thing can do it all. Pretty cool. So up front we have, you know, a dense, durable body. And then as we get back, we get to a segment tail that comes to that T boot tail. So you're just gonna get a bunch of action out of that segmented tail and that T system boot tail. But that T system tail also gives you a nice stable swimming. It's gonna track really true through the water. You know, it's not gonna come off of track or anything like that. So it's really nice. Again, you can use this with a ton of stuff. Versatility is the name of the game. Whether you wanna just use a screw lock swim bait hook, put it on the back of a spinner bait, on a ball head, whatever you want to do, this thing is designed to do it. It's going to swim really well and again get you a bunch of bites. Now Savage Gear, they made this one out of their Duratec, so again, really stretchy. It's going to stand up to a lot of abuse. So a nice little swim bait to add to the arsenal. All right, another one from Savage Gear, we have their new DS Crawler Worm. Again, another one that's just designed to get a bunch of fish to the boat any time of year. Springtime right now, absolutely. As we transition into summer, you know it, fall, always, and wintertime. This thing is also gonna bring those fish to the boat. So if you're just looking for do anything, get fish, this is the one you wanna go with. So nice design on this one, that tapered design, so you have a dense head up top. So that's gonna accommodate if you wanna nose hook this thing, that's great. The body still stays pretty dense as you transition down, so you know, worm hook, Texas rig, shaky head, you can do it all on this thing, but it tapers down to this, you know, spade tail at the bottom. So again, every twitch of that rod as you're crawling it, bouncing along through rocks or anything like that, it's just gonna have a ton of action, a lot of quivering action in that tail. Ribbed from tail to head, so it's gonna push and grab a bunch of water, just really displace that water, and another thing to help the bass locate it. And this thing is loaded with scent. So it's just gonna really help the bass find this thing, hang on to it longer, give you that extra second to get the hook into it. That's the DS Crawler Worm from Savage Gear. Last one from Savage Gear, and possibly the one I'm most excited about. This is the Savage Gear Duratec Toad. This thing is sweet. So made from a 3D scan of a real frog, it's about as accurate as you can get. I mean, I really like the design of this one. So you have this deep channel on the top of the body here, so that's gonna really hide your hook point. So if you're going over mats, if you're going through vegetation, lily pads, you're not gonna hung up or it's not gonna grab any of that vegetation or any of that muck. You're gonna come through real clean. On the underside, again, a super deep channel in it. This time, when that fish does inevitably explode on your toad here, you're gonna get a really positive hook set it. You're gonna get a lot of that meat, a lot of that hook into the fish's mouth. So you're gonna get more of those fish back to the boat. So I really like both of those things. Again, like I mentioned, that 3D scan of the toad, so you're getting all kinds of 3D eyes and just different marks to give this thing a realistic look. And on the back here, we have these kicking paddle tails. So it's just gonna really disturb a lot of water, cause that bubble trail that bass really key in on, and just draw some big hits. Duratec, again on this one. This thing is just stretchy, it is durable. I mean, you are gonna get to tangle with the biggest bass, a bunch of bass, aggressive bass. This thing is just gonna keep on chugging. So really nice. Now the other cool thing about that Duratec material, awesomely durable, yep, but it's also super buoyant. So as you're crawling this thing along, if you wanna go really slow, just barely get those legs kicking, sure, you can do that. If you wanna pause it right next to a key piece of vegetation, absolutely, it's gonna hang out right there. So it's just a really cool, nice new topwater toad. I'm excited to put it to use this year. And that hook channel that I was talking about, perfectly burying hook points, Savage Gear has you covered there too. It comes included in the packaging, one of these hooks that is designed to perfectly pair up with that toad. So there's no more guessing. Do I need a 4-aught, a 5-aught? Do I go downsize to a 3-aught? Don't worry about it. Savage Gear's got you covered with this premium, sticky, sharp, and robust hook. So when that fish does come out of that dense underwater jungle, you know, you're gonna be able to get him out with this hook. So just a nice addition, a little bit more bang for your buck from Savage Gear. All right, so we talked about our baits. We're gonna switch over to terminal tackle. We got a new one from Venom, the Venom Lure's Ratlin tube head. So this thing's cool. You know, this time of year, it's springtime, maybe we're getting a lot of rains. It's gonna kind of muddy up, dirty up your water with those sudden squalls. This thing is just gonna help the bass locate your tube. So if you are chasing smallies with the tube in stained water and you just need them help, you know, finding this thing, this little rattle in there is gonna help them key in and locate your bait. So it's a nice feature. And, you know, it doesn't have to be smallmouth, largemouth, spotted bass, whatever the case may be. Any predator that's gonna eat a tube, which as darn near any predator, this thing is really gonna shine. You got a 60-degree line tie on there, so it's gonna give you that horizontal presentation that's really effective with tubes, and then just a robust, sticky, sharp, infallible hook. So when you do, bump into that bruiser, 5-pound smallmouth, 6-pound smallmouth, whatever the case may be, you're gonna be able to get it back to the boat with confidence. You're gonna be able to swing on that thing with confidence. So a cool new Ratlin tube head to check out from Venom Lures. All right. Got a series of new line over here, so we're going to talk about these. Got 3 new lines, all from Defiant here, and these were all designed with Oliver Nye, big bait specialist, and they all have pretty specific technique applications to them. So first up, we have the Defiant soft casting fluorocarbon. All these lines here, 100% premium Japanese fluorocarbon materials went into making these things, so you're getting a high quality line, but they all serve a specific purpose. So this soft casting one, as the name kind of implies, it's gonna be, a soft, low memory fluorocarbon. It's gonna come off of the spool really, really well. So if you find yourself fishing a lot of open water or you just need to cover water, really long bomber country mile casts, this is the one you're gonna wanna go with. If you're gonna be faced with abrasive or a lot of cover, maybe not this one, but if you're just looking to, really get long casts and cover a lot of water, soft casting. Now, if you do have some of that abrasive cover to deal with, got you covered. Defiant heavy cover fluorocarbon. Like I mentioned earlier, still 100% fluorocarbon, premium line, but this time you're just gonna get a really robust, abrasive resistant fluorocarbon line. So if you're in the nastiest, thickest cover, rocky stuff that tears up other lines, this one's gonna resist that a lot longer. So if you need the confidence to go into that dense vegetation and get that bass out, take a look at that heavy cover line. Last one up from Defiant is their new shock leader. So the shock leader here is gonna be designed for any of those guys that are going braid to fluorocarbon leaders. That's getting more and more popular, of course. You're gonna get maximum sensitivity out of that. So it's just a really nice addition to have to the line here. So low stretch, powerful knot strength. So for those line-to-line connections, that's where this thing's really gonna shine. And then that low strength is gonna give you that extra sensitivity. So any application, if you're targeting panfish on a really light drop shot line, all the way up to those big bruisers, you want to get a little fluorocarbon on the end of your swim bait setup, just to give it a little bit of that invisibility layer, maybe in the wintertime. This is gonna be the one you want to check out with the shock leader. All right, last up for today, we got a new series of storage stuff from Buzbe. So got a whole new lineup for you here. We're gonna start with the new Fast Flats bag. So pretty cool, it's just a fortress for your gear. So whether you want some weather protection for your cell phone, your car keys, your wallet, favorite bag of soft plastics, anything that you don't wanna get wet, that you wanna keep protected in just an easy, stashable little pocket here, that's what you're gonna wanna check out, the Fast Flats bag from Buzbe. This thing is puncture resistant, super robust, got YKK zippers on it, and like I said, it's weatherproof, so it's gonna keep all of your stuff dry. You got kind of cool little attachment points on all 4 corners here. So whether you want to add this to a different gear bag, you want to string a few of them together, slap it on your backpack, heck, hook it onto the loop of your belt, you're in good shape. You can do a lot with these bags. So it's kind of a cool new versatile bag storage system, which are becoming super popular. So if you want a nice heavy duty, robust one, there you go. All right, we got a new terminal box for you as well. This is the Colony 28 Terminal Edition. So really, again, if you guys have any familiarity with the Buzbe lineup, you know that these things are over-engineered to just be super robust, infallible boxes. These things just cannot break. Military-grade hardware throughout, and a cool design to them. So when you open these things up top, you'll see a nice waterproof gasket. That's gonna keep these things super protected and waterproof. All of the material in it is infused with an anti-rust formula, so it's going to emit that the whole time, prevent any of your hooks from rusting, and you'll combine that with that waterproof gasket, you're in good shape. They use their Hexoc grid system, so this thing is fully customizable. They even sell them empty, so if you want to set it up with specifically the design that you want, you can buy the little compartments and just the box itself and design this thing however you want. Now, terminal specific, this thing's really nice for that. Sometimes you have those issues with your drop shot hooks, your little swivels. I don't know, maybe you're a float and fly guy and you have those little beads in there. Sometimes they can go under the partitions of your storage box. Not with these. As you just saw when I pulled this thing out, each one is an individual storage compartment. So you're in good shape. And now on top, they have these little partitions molded into the top as well. So when you close this thing up, you are completely locked down. You can shake this thing up. Maybe you're doing a long run on the lake, it's rough water season, or it's ski boat season, you're going over a bunch of wakes. Nothing's worse than opening your boat compartment, pulling out your terminal box, and just being greeted with a chaotic mess. This is really gonna keep everything organized, individualized, and separated. It's a nice premium option for you here. Now, if you're looking to store any of those boxes and bags, we got the new Swarm 28 tackle bag system. So again, just like all of their other products, this thing is robust, over-engineered with puncture-resistant material that's waterproof and airtight. So I mean, whether you're a bank angler, you're bringing this thing on your boat, you're a co-angler, whatever the case may be, it's giving you that waterproof protection for all of your gear. I mean, even if you have cameras, electronics, or just, you know, that precious tackle in there, it's gonna be protected in this thing. I got a bunch of, you know, kind of neat features on here. So you have these movable, so this can actually slide off and you can add it onto these different bars, and they have bars on the side as well. So if you wanna attach all kinds of stuff, maybe some of those fast flats bags that we talked about, you know, you can add that onto the side of these things. You have a nice robust carrying shoulder case here. And this package, or this box itself actually comes included with 4 of those boxes. So I mean, you're gonna be able to store a ton of gear. And if you don't want the boxes in there, I mean, this thing is just a nice, like I said, waterproof, airtight storage system for any of your precious investments that you don't want anything happening to them. So if you're looking for premium protection for your, you know, most prized possessions, this is what you want, the Buzbe Swarm 28 tackle bag. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap up this week's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. As always, thank you for tuning in and checking out the new products with us. We always like having you here. If you enjoy these products, you wanna learn more about them or shop for them, make sure to click shop or the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, you wanna see more like it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And let us know in the comments below which one of these you're most excited about. Maybe it's this awesome toad for when toad season comes around, frogging season. I hope it is. That's my favorite this week, I think. All right, we'll see y'all next week.